Alright, so I got a bad U-joint on the rear where the drive shaft connects to the rear differential. The front one's good, but we're going to replace the rear because that one is trashed. I'll show you here in a second. So this is going to be how to replace the drive shaft U-joint on a 98 03-04-ish Durango. Same for Dakota. This one specifically is an 01 4x4 4.7 liter V8. But the U-joint itself might vary slightly from year to year and depending on which engine you have as well. If yours is the front or you're doing front and rear, it's the same process for the front or rear. And when I say front or rear, I mean front or rear on the drive shaft, the main drive shaft itself. There we go. So then to replace that, whether you're doing the rear here or the front, obviously your drive shaft's got to come out. So you're going to need to take these 4 bolts out to get it loose. A lot of people like to mark it. I like using this wax pencil here, works the best for me. Mark it front and rear. So initially I marked it in the wrong spot. Of course you need to mark the drive shaft, but this piece here is coming out with the drive shaft, so you need to get your mark clear back here on this as well. That way you put it back in the same position. A lot of people believe if you put it on flip-flop or whatever, you don't put it back on exactly as it comes out, that you could get vibrations due to that because the shaft itself is weighted and balanced. So personally I've never ran into that, but I've gotten enough complaints over the multiple videos. So if you want to, mark it and put it back in the exact same location. So as I said, you'll need to loosen these bolts, and then if it's stuck on here, you can just lightly tap on it with a hammer or give it a good shake. So it should pop off of there, drop down, and then you can just pull it out of the rear of the transmission there. And careful when it comes out, you don't drop it and let the spline or the yoke or anything smash onto the ground, anything like that, because you don't want to damage those teeth. So I'll get you the size on those bolts here in a second, but keep in mind that they could differ from year and engine. So all my bolts are out now. For me, on my truck, it was a 15mm. I obviously use a 6-point. They were extremely freaking tight, which at first I thought, okay, well maybe it's just because it's a truck, you know, heavy duty, whatever. No, the reason they were so god-awful tight, look at all that blue on there. So this is why you're only supposed to use a drop or 2 of Loctite. Somebody just doused those things in Loctite. So yeah, they were stiff and extremely hard to back out all the way back until they came out all the way. So it wasn't like it broke free and it was easy to spin. They were super stiff the whole way, and that's because somebody basically seized them in there with putting way too much Loctite. So anyways, we're loose now. So you can either grab onto it and shake and break that free, or you can give it some taps. Now I'm thinking mine's more stuck than normal because there's all that Loctite crap in there between the seam that I probably got to break free. So usually you can just pull on them or give them a light tap like that and they'll pop free, but this is looking like I might have to hit it pretty hard, so I'm going to need both hands for that. Alright, so there she's off. Obviously don't hit that thing too hard. You don't want to dent anything because it's all balanced, and if you throw it out of balance you can get a vibration. So I hit it a little harder than I was before I cut it, and I about 15-20 wraps and it finally came off. It was slowly backing out, but yeah, look at all that blue crap up in there. So that didn't help. So then with the backside detached, and this is kind of more of a two-handed deal. If I pull this out with one hand, it's going to fall, but you can see it sliding in and out. It'll just simply slide out. So pull it out and don't let that front part drop and smash on the ground, and you want to keep it clean. Alright, so I pulled it out. Where is it at here? There. It's actually pretty long, so you got pretty long ways to go before it pops out. So I had the front right side of the vehicle up and it started pouring differential fluid like crazy. So I shoved it back in and lowered the vehicle, so now it's level and barely anything's dripping out. So I don't know if anything's going to come out if it was level in the first place. I know I had such a huge amount because it was tipped up and to the right side because I had the front right up. But get a little pan, because you might lose a few drips like this. And so you definitely want to take it out with the vehicle level, that way it's not pouring out fluid like crazy. So then there's your drive shaft. Again, don't want to ding up or nick up this. If you get scratches and crap in it, it can wear stuff out up in there, like your seal and whatnot. You don't want to get crap in these spline teeth, or it won't align, or it can grind down the teeth. So just keep this thing good and clean. Don't touch it on anything. Don't whack it up on anything. So best to take it to a bench if you can. If not, stuff a rag or something under it to keep it nice and clean. So there's the drive shaft out. Now, to remove your U-joint, you're going to have to get these clips out. So you take a needle nose and you clamp onto it like this. Alright, I know these aren't needle nose. I'll find my needle nose in a second. But you grab onto it like that, squeeze, and the clips will come together. And then in theory, they'll pop out of there. And you can remove the clip. You got to do the same on the other side. Same on this here. There's 4 points. You got to do that to all 4 to get them out, so you can knock your U-joint out. But look how rusty this is. So I'm afraid these are going to snap, so I'm going to hit this, all 4 of them, with some PB Blaster and let it sit for a good while to hopefully free that up so they don't break, because then it's going to be even more difficult if they break, trying to pick them out of there. Alright, so see, it's missing. Well, it's not missing, it broke. So one of these, as soon as I even squeezed very lightly with the needle nose, it just immediately broke. They were so rusted. And other ones that are not breaking, they're so tight, I'm squeezing as hard as I can and they're still not coming out. I've tried chiseling back behind them with screwdrivers and prying out, and well, this one I bent back, but yeah, it's bending my screwdrivers even. I'm prying so hard and they're not coming. It's bending the tip of the screwdriver. This one was bent and I just bent it back by flipping it and doing the opposite. So yeah, that's a problem. So I'm probably just gonna have to bust these out of here and break them up. I don't even know if I can do that, honestly. So I'm gonna try that for a while, and if I can't break them up and bust them out to get all the pieces out, then I'm probably gonna have to take them to the local truck shop and see what they can do about getting these out of here for me so I can install my new U-joint. But if yours isn't rusted to hell like this, that's how you get them out. You would take these clips out all the way around, and then they do stick a little, so then you would take a socket that fits inside of this, stick it on, whack it a few times with a hammer, and you'll see it'll start pushing it out. Now as you push this side out on the opposite side, then where it's pushed out on the opposite side, because you just hit on it with the hammer and the socket, you got to get it out far enough so you can clamp on a vice grip to wiggle and twist and try to pop that cap off. Then once you do that, you hammer it back through the other way to get the cap off on the other side, and repeat for the other 2, and then you'll be able to pull your U-joint out. And then when you reinstall the new one, it works the same way. You're going to have to take the caps off of the new ones to get it started in there, and then you kind of hold it in place, and then pop your caps on while holding it in the middle. And you want to clean this off real good, because you don't want to get any crap or dirt on your new U-joint needle bearings when you got the caps popped off to slide it back in there. So you got to get these caps off via that method to get it out, and then you got to do the same to get it in. You got to take the caps off, put it in place, and then install the caps back on. I did a Silverado last year. I didn't have any issue because it wasn't seized up like this, so I was able to remove the clips and then tap it out like it should be. But this thing is rusted to hell. That's the other thing too. Remember, this ear here is part of the drive shaft. If you mess this ring up too bad trying to bust this crap out, then your new U-joint's not gonna fit and seal in there properly, and then it's either gonna make noise or to wear out really fast, not lock into place with these. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna run it up the road, because I don't want to mess this up, because if you mess that up, then you're gonna have to get a whole new drive shaft. So I could sit here and beat on it and try and pry, but see, I'm already starting to pry away at this lip a little bit, not intentionally. And yeah, if I mess that up too bad, then I'm gonna have to replace the whole drive shaft. So I'm probably gonna throw this in the car and go run it to the shop up the road. Like I said, last year on a Silverado, this was not an issue because it wasn't all rusted to hell like this. But if you run into the situation like me and you don't have the necessary stuff to get it on your own, like me, unfortunately, definitely call around to a few different shops. I got just a little diesel shop up the road. It's kind of like a mom and pop thing. They literally do it on their property. So those kinds of people typically will have the best prices on that kind of stuff. Some of the machine shop places like that, they charge pretty ridiculous prices to do the most simplest things. So definitely call around and shop around. Alright, so I took it to the shop up the road, had them get that out, put in a new bearing for me. Bearing. U-joint. So it did take them a little bit of work. I guess the dude told me he had to like kind of cut it up with their torch and blow out the middle with the torch too, and then he was able to kind of like knock the pieces out after that. And yeah, that's definitely beyond my capabilities here. I don't have any such thing. So there's a receipt. So if you guys are wondering what you should pay for something like this, like I said, call around. I ended up paying $115, but that included the part and the labor. So just the labor, just for them to do that, was $82. And they were being really nice about it because they only put down 3/4 of an hour of labor. A lot of places, whether it takes them 20 minutes or 50 minutes or 60 minutes, they're just going to put you down for an hour regardless. So the fact that they actually break it down by quarter, that's real nice of them. That's the kind of places you want to look for. So anyways, depending on your area, you know, 110 an hour right now in 2021, that's about typical. Most places are charging $100 and up now. If you're lucky, you can find places that still do like 80, but that's not bad at all compared to the national average. So I got $82 in labor to put this in, and that's partially due to the fact that they were nice enough to charge me for actual time instead of a full hour. Sorry about the construction noises. My neighbor decided to run his bobcat and dig a hole in his yard. So obviously installation is going to be basically reverse of removal. Again, make sure this is nice and clean. I can see they got some stuff on it being in the shop, so I'm going to clean that up real quick. And then again, in here too, you can put a light coating and grease in there if you want to aid in slipping it on. And then when you put it up in there, make sure you don't hit this on anything and get any rust and dirt and crap on it, or you're going to clean it back off again before you slide it up in there. So I'm going to clean this thing off real quick, slide it back in, and then go over the torque spec on the bolts. Alright, so if you marked it, make sure you line your mark back up. If you can pretty much eyeball it down on this end and get it in the appropriate position before you slide it in up in there, which is what I did. So I didn't have an issue with that. If for some reason you can't quite get it lined up, you should be able to just put it in neutral and then spin the shaft with it in the transmission until it lines up for you. Alright, and then your torque spec on those is 80 foot-pounds of torque. Also, of course, if yours came out dry, you can put a drop or two of thread locker on there. But mine are caked in it already and a nightmare, so yeah, I am not going to worry about that because those things are going to be stiff going all the way in. Just a tip for you guys, if you are able to get yours out on your own, if they're not rusted to hell like mine was, on reinstall, it's a good practice to put your new U-joint in the freezer for about an hour before you try to install it. That'll make it very microscopically shrink, so it'll fit into those holes easier. That way it's not such a tight fit. Also, you got to get them tapped in far enough to where your little replacement snap ring, which by the way, you want to replace those, there's a little groove for it to fit in. It's pretty obvious, but you'll need to make sure you get those driven in to the right orientation at all points so that you can get your snap rings in there. Alright, then as you're tightening / torquing this down, make sure you walk it, the bolts in a crisscross pattern, like go this one to this one, to this one, to the one across from there. Do the opposite sides in a crisscross pattern. You got to walk it on there. Make sure it doesn't get caught on a bind, or you can get a gap under here and it won't seal flush. So check all sides as you're installing it and make sure it's going on flush and that it's torqued down flush as well when you're done. trace all the way around, make sure it's flush all the way. Or you could get that on a bind and you'll get a torque and it's caught and it's actually got a gap under it. So I'm all torqued down now, so she should be good to go. Alright, if you lost much transfer case fluid, make sure you top that back off. But if you do it level, it should only be a few drips and you ain't really got to worry about it. Well, that's going to wrap it up on this dirty beast. Sorry I couldn't show actually removing and installing the U-joint, but I can only show what I'm capable of, guys. So, like I said, I did the Silverado last year. Had no issue because it wasn't all seized and rusted like that. But I don't have a shop and torch and press and vise and all that stuff to do that. So, unfortunately, that's what I had to do to take care of it. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a great day.